apprenticeship in Madison Square Garden. And he came back to Scottsburg, we was raised, and he began to teach me how to box. And before the tournament came up next year, his buddy was calling his army. And he said, Paul, the last instructions he gave me was to go to North Arm Boys Club and work out that Joe would take me to Memphis to go and champion. I thought he meant the next day. So I took a day off from school and hitchhiked to North Little Rock. And I got to Florida about 9 o'clock. I didn't realize everyone was supposed to be in school. And I walked in and I found Joe Red back in the workout room working on an old punching bag. His back was turned to me and I just walked in a low voice said, Mr. Red, I want to work out. And he said in a loud voice, get out of here, you're supposed to be in school. And he never looked around. I got out. I passed the office where Miss Ann Foley was working, and as I went out, she called Joe in and said, Joe, that little boy looked just like Buddy Hopefield. So I was at the top of the paddock. I hadn't slowed down. I was heading back to Scotland. And I heard someone say, hey, Paul. And I looked back from the top of the paddock. I saw Joe Red standing at the foot of the Main Street paddock, motioning for me to come back. I went back, and at the foot of the paddock that morning, a relationship started. A real friendship that lasted until 1960 when Joe Red stepped out into eternity. In 1969, my mother lay in a Baptist hospital who had prayed for me all her life, my life, to give my heart to Jesus. I was drinking a case of beer a day, smoking 20 cigars, taking God's name in vain every breath. Now, I went to the hospital one night. They said she wouldn't live for the next morning. I looked up and said, God, you'll let my mother live for Sunday morning. She'll know one of her boys is a Christian. Sunday morning came. I got my wife up and my 3 children. Went to a church that we hadn't been to in years. That morning, about 11:45, I met another man. Joe Red had become the biggest man in my life. The Boys Club became the biggest institution in my life. That morning, 11:45, I met another man. His name was Jesus. I met him at the foot of the cross. And a real relationship began, a love relationship, and a friendship. As a little boy, I dreamed of being a lightweight champion of the world. I soon found out I'd never make it. I was trying to follow Buddy's footsteps. I wanted to do something he done. Then I played on a semi-pro baseball team. I thought maybe I can make it as a baseball player. One scout talked to me. I could hit and field, but I couldn't throw. Then I got on the fire department. I thought, boy, if I could just be the chief of the fire department. I soon found out I didn't have it up here. That day, Sunday morning, 11:45, I realized I could do one thing as good as any man in the world. I could do something good as Cassius Clay. I could do something good as Mickey Mantle. I could do something good as the president. But you know, I said maybe a lot of things good as him done. I don't know. One thing that's good as him. I could, and I did, give my whole heart to Jesus Christ. No one can beat that. Looking back over my life now, I can see how God was preparing me for the job He wanted me to do by bringing me in contact with Joe Red and all of our boys club. We walked on the boxing trail, I wouldn't have a penny in my pocket. Joe would give me money. I know some papers today, there's a day where they gave your store and they spelled it wrong. We always spelled it P-O-O-O-O-O-R. We were poor. I said, we were so poor the rats died out there to eat out. Thieves broke in to steal from us, we stole from them first. But I can look back over my life and see where God was preparing me for the job that He wanted me to do. We'd go off on a trip, no money, Joe would give me money. I'd come up to work out, no food, he would feed me, hamburgers and french fries. I'd get cold, no sweater or coat, he would give me sweaters and coats. No, the Bible says more blessed to give than to receive. I believe that to be true, it wasn't even in the Bible, especially when you've been on both sides. I know what it is not to have one pair of blue jeans to go to school the whole first year of my school, but I also know what it is for someone to bring you clothes. I thought back when Joe gave me the money and the food and the clothes. Man, he's enjoying this any more than I am. I don't know how I stand. I thought back when Joe gave me the money and the food and the clothes. Man, he's enjoying this any more than I am. I don't know how I stand. I know what it is not having groceries in the house. In some church or somewhere they bring groceries and put on my front porch or our front porch. I also know what it is to take groceries and sit on the front porches now. I know what it is not have a toy at Christmas time. But I know now what it is to give toys at Christmas time. And I say it's a lot better to give than to receive. I think back and thank God God wanted me to build a church in the worst crime here in North Law, maybe in Save Arkansas, and start a soup kitchen. He was preparing me back then. I had to be prepared to do that in that neighborhood. And I believe the Boys Club prepared me well. I believe through his boxing program, it taught me how to be tough on the outside, and yet tender and strong on the inside. I believe Joe Red was setting an example for me to help the less fortunate by helping to me. I think it was the story that I heard, but one of the soup kitchen guys passed a businessman and tapped him on the back. The businessman turned around and he said, "Sir, could you give me enough money to drink a cup of coffee?" The businessman said, "Man, get away from here. I don't have any money to give you." And he walked just about a half a block. He felt the tap on his shoulder again. And he looked around. And this man looked him in the eye and said, "Sir, I wish you could see the man that I'm meant to be." I wonder where I'd be today if God hadn't brought me in contact with Joe Red at the North Rock Boys Club. I love the Boys Club, and I appreciate what it's done for me. And I thank God for the North Rock Boys Club and men like Joe Red and Jim Weatherton. Thank you very much. Makes you grateful to be here tonight, doesn't it?